Dear students, welcome to the environmental science. So this course is basically designed for the BTech or BSc students. So in the last classes, we have discussed about the atmosphere. We have also discussed about their composition, about the global warming. So what are the effects and what are the causes for this, all these pollutions like water pollution or some other pollutions. And in this class, so today's class, we will deeply discuss about the soil pollution. Okay, so let's begin. Soil pollution is an environmental issue that often receives less attention than the air or water pollution, but is equally critical for the life on Earth. So, soil pollution refers to the contamination of soil by harmful chemicals or some waste materials or toxic substances that degrade its natural quality and fertility. The soil is an essential, like natural resource because it supports the agriculture, it maintains the ecosystem, and it also plays a crucial role in nutrient cycling. So there are several major like reasons for the soil pollution. So one of the most significant sources is the industrial waste. So where the factories release heavy metals and toxic chemicals into the environment. So another major contributor to the excessive use of the pesticides, herbicides, and chemical fertilizers in the agriculture, which are extremely toxic. While these chemicals basically help increase crop yields, so their overuse contaminates the soil and disrupts the natural microbial communities. So improper disposal of municipal waste, plastics, the electronic wastes, and also the mining residues also contributes significantly to the soil contamination. So the soil pollution has serious environmental and health impacts. So contaminated soil reduces soil fertility and affects the plant growth. The toxic substances like the heavy metals, like the lead compounds or cadmium, mercury compounds, or the arsenic salts, can accumulate in crops and enter the food chain, posing the risks to the human health. So these pollutants can also seep into the groundwater, causing the further contamination of drinking water sources. So in addition, so soil pollution also damages the biodiversity by harming the microorganisms, insects, and plants that are essential for maintaining the soil health. So to address soil pollution, several preventive and remedial strategies are required. So reducing the excessive use of the agrochemicals and promoting the sustainable agricultural practices such as the organic farming, biofertilizers, so can help to protect the soil quality. The proper waste management and the recycling are also essential to prevent the hazardous materials from the from entering into the soil. So in polluted areas, the modern remediation techniques such as bioremediation, the phytoremediation, and the soil washing can help to restore the soil health. The soil, so we must remember that the soil is a raw, non-renewable resource on a human timescale. So protecting it is a vital issue for a better life. So environmental sustainability, the human health are the major concern for this modern era. So by adapting responsible agricultural practices, the improving the waste management and raising the environmental awareness, we can reduce the soil pollution and preserve the valuable resource for future generation. So let us discuss what is soil pollution. The contamination of soil by human and the natural activities, so which may cause the harmful effects to the living things. So human and animal activities generate many wastes that are discarded as useless. So we are dumping the waste simply on the land. So they are solid and generally termed as the soil or the land pollution. So the composition of soil includes like the inorganic material or the minerals like 45%. The organic matter we have around like 5%. So we have like the soil water in the soil, which is around like 25%, and soil air also 25%. The term solid waste incorporates the highly heterogeneous mass of discarded materials from the urban community as well as the homogeneous of waste generated by agricultural and industrial activities. So here are the types of solid waste. The first one is the municipal solid waste. And also we have some other solid waste like the organic waste, the biodegradable waste, the bulky waste, which are like a huge combustible waste, hazardous waste, medical waste, chemical waste, radioactive pollutants, and also pathological waste. So from this picture, we can understand. So from the cities, what we are dumping into the dustbin, so they are all collecting and they are dumping in some separated area. And so we are now basically to process all these like the wastes into the like some proper use. If we cannot use them, we can simply melt or we can simply like burn them to make it some kind of usable materials so that these are not harmful to the environment. So here are the effects of solid wastes. So if we like keep on increasing the solid waste on the land, it will increase the disease. So it will also cause organisms such as like the mosquitoes, flies, and also some other insects which are also harmful for our environment or for us. Biodegradable solid wastes decompose under the uncontrolled and unhygienic conditions. So they produce smell and various types of insects and infectious organisms. A huge quantity of fertilizer, pesticides, etc. alter the solid quality, the soil quality, and also the too much of solid waste run off with the rainwater, resulting in the water pollution. The burning of solid waste causes air pollution. The radioactive elements due to exploration of nuclear bomb, the unspent fuel, etc., accumulate in the soil and causing the disease in the human beings and also some other animals. The industrial wastes alter the chemical and biological properties of the soil. Hazardous chemicals affect the human food chain, leading to the serious effects on living organisms. So here are the like different types of soil pollutions or the sources of soil pollutions. So some are the industrial wastes. So some are coming from the urban wastes, and some are also coming from the agricultural practices, radioactive pollutants, and finally the biological agents. So we will discuss each one of them in detail in the later slides. So here we can see that from this picture, so these are the industrial waste. So one of the major contributors to the soil pollution is industrial waste. So with rapid industrialization, the large quantities of the waste materials are generated from the factories. So from power plants, also from the chemical industry, so manufacturing units. So these wastes often contain the toxic chemicals, heavy metals like the lead, arsenic, or antimony, or cadmium type of materials. Also, it can contain oils, the hazardous compounds that can severely damage the environment if not managed properly. So industrial wastes can be released in solid, liquid, or gaseous forms. The solid wastes include the material such as slag, fly ash, metal scraps, and plastic residues. The liquid industrial effluents may contain harmful chemicals like acids, dyes, and organic pollutants. So while the gaseous emission from like these harmful substances, so when we are basically like releasing all these substances on the land or into the atmosphere or into the water bodies, so they are basically contaminating that and they are causing the pollution. When these wastes are dumped directly on the land or in the open dumping sites, they contaminate the soil with toxic substances like lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium, arsenic, and etc. So these pollutants can reduce soil fertility, can destroy beneficial microorganisms, and also negatively affect the plant growth. So over the time, the toxic substances may also leach into the groundwater, creating serious environmental and health risks. Industrial waste pollution also affects ecosystem and human health. So crops grown in the contaminated soil may accumulate toxic metals, so which can enter the food chain and also cause the disease in the humans and animals. Therefore, it is essential to adopt like proper waste management practices, and industries must treat their waste through the recycling, safe disposal, and advanced treatment technologies before releasing it into the environment. So government regulations and the environmental monitoring also play a crucial role in controlling the industrial pollution. So the industrial waste refers to the disposal of byproducts from the industries, such as ash, slag, and corroded metals directly onto the land. So these materials often contain toxic chemicals and heavy metals, which can significantly degrade the soil quality if not it is properly managed. So now let's come to the point of sources of the industrial waste. So first, the pulp and the paper mills generate large amounts of chemical sludge and organic residues. Second, the chemical industries, oil refineries, and sugar factories release hazardous effluents containing acids, hydrocarbons, and other toxic substances. Third, manufacturing and construction industries produce solid wastes like metal scraps, cement residues, and debris. The next one, the coal and mining industries are major contributors, generating the fly ash and mine tailings that often contain heavy metals. So additionally, industries such as chemical, glass, cement, and engineering sectors continuously release waste materials during production processes. So finally, the construction and the demolition activities add significantly to the land pollution through the uncontrolled dumping of debris. So let us now look at the effects of the industrial waste on soil. So firstly, the industrial waste alters the chemical and biological properties of the soil. So the presence of toxic substances disrupts the soil pH and reduces the fertility. Secondly, the hazardous chemicals can enter the food chain. Crops grown in the contaminated soil may absorb toxic metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury, which ultimately affect human and animal health. Thirdly, so these pollutants disturb the biological processes of living organisms. Soil organisms like some so which are basically like living in the soil, so which are essential for the nutrient cycling and the soil health, are severely affected, leading to the long-term ecological imbalance. In conclusion, the industrial waste is a serious environmental concern that impacts soil quality, ecosystem stability, and human health. Therefore, it is crucial to adopt proper waste treatment, cycling, and or like recycling and strict environmental regulations to minimize its harmful effect. So another major sources of soil pollution is urban waste, so which is generated basically from the households and also like commercial establishments and city activities. With the rapid growth of the cities and increasing population, the amount of waste produced in the urban areas has increased dramatically over the years. The urban waste, also known as municipal solid waste, includes materials such as food scraps, plastics, paper, glass, metals, textiles, and also the electronic wastes. A large portion of this waste is often dumped in the open landfills or unmanaged dumping sites. So when this waste is not properly segregated or treated, so it accumulates in the large quantities and leads to the serious environmental problems. So another major issue is the leachate formation. So where rainwater percolates like through the waste and carries pollutants deep into the soil, and even it can also go into the groundwater. So this not only contaminates the soil but also affects the drinking water quality. So urban waste also creates unhygienic conditions like attracting pests and disease causing organisms. The decomposition of the organic waste produces gases like methane, contributing to the environmental and climate issues. To address this problem, effective solutions include the waste segregation at source, recycling, composting, and the scientific landfill management. The public awareness and the responsible waste disposal practices are strictly needed for the betterment of the society. So in conclusion, the proper management of the urban waste is essential to protect the soil health, the environmental quality, and the human well-being. So now we will talk about the control measures of soil pollution, particularly focusing on the soil erosion. So due to the population growth and urbanization, the agricultural activities have increased rapidly over the years. One important aspect of the controlling soil pollution is the control of the soil erosion, which can be effectively managed through forestry, proper farming practices, and also maintaining the landfills and also like creating the new laws. For example, the tree plantation on slopes helps bind the soil and prevent it from the being washed away. Similarly, terracing and the construction of the diversion channels reduce water runoffs and soil loss, especially in hilly areas. Another key measures is reducing deforestation, as trees play a crucial role in maintaining the soil structure and preventing erosion. In conclusion, adopting these sustainable practices can significantly help in protecting soil health and reducing pollution. In this slide, we'll discuss about the proper dumping of unwanted material. So the waste of human and animal form, so it creates chronic problem, and open dumping methods should be changed, and we should create the new like regulations so that people should not just dump the waste material anywhere, and also we should control the release of waste material from the industries and the production of the natural fertilizers. So these fertilizers and the pesticides should not exceed the limit. So biofertilizers should be used properly, and the animal dungs cannot be just thrown outside, so they can be reused as the fertilizer. So we should also create more public awareness. So public awareness plays a key role. People should be educated about the harmful effects of soil pollution and related health hazards. Awareness programs can encourage responsible behavior in waste disposal and environmental protection. Second, recycling and the reuse of waste is essential. The materials such as paper, plastics, glass, petroleum products, and even industrial effluents should be properly treated and recycled. So this helps reduce the amount of waste entering the soil. So finally, so there should be a strict ban on the toxic chemicals. So harmful pesticides like DDT and the BHC should be avoided. And the improper disposal of radioactive wastes must be strictly controlled. Preventing such hazardous activities is crucial for protecting the soil health. So while I was preparing my presentation, so I was actually like following these books. So first one is the environmental pollution, excellently written books, and also you can follow the other books for your better knowledge. There is the elements of environmental pollution control, and the next one is environmental pollution and control. In the next class, we'll be discussing about the thermal pollution. So today we can wind up the session here. Thank you all for joining the class. So here is my email ID. You can contact me anytime. So if you have any more questions.